if you look at forward now, Morocco against France, I think too, yeah, France has a good team, Morocco has a good team.
Paraguay could still win.
Paraguay can win too, 100%. But I think if you look at the results, the last past games, and then look at the next games, but if Morocco or France comes, I think a big role would be too that it's kind of a rivalry.
Yes.
Even in the country of France, you know, you have a lot of people from Morocco and everything, so you will see a complete different face of Morocco.
Yeah, well, the thing is, you know, a team like that, they like to sit back and they like to feel the game. Canada should have scored the goal, and because when you miss the chances to open up the score sheet, you're going to be punished after that. And it's what happened today. And Morocco knows how to deal with that, and they were strong. They lost their striker Saibari, but somebody else came, Unahi, and that's how they made and how they work. But if they play like that against France, they can be in trouble.
Or Paraguay.
Oh, Paraguay. Okay. You never know in football, but if it's what everybody thinks, except Paraguay fans, but it's going to be a revenge from a semi-final 4 years ago. But Morocco wouldn't be allowed to sit back and wait for the French to miss their chances, because we know the talent at front, and they can be very early in the game finished.
No, Canada was pushing and trying to get back into the game, and then especially the goals. Break their neck, right?
Yeah.
Because then you have to open more up and you run into more counter breaks and transition game. And Morocco is a good team, so you have to say that too. Even if Canada had completely control over the first half, and they don't have chances to score later on, and Morocco used their chances and changed the complete game. And after 3-0, you have to say that maybe it's quality, you know, to let the other team make the game, and then at the end, you know, you score the goals when you need to.
Got to take your chance.
It was a strange game because the first half, as I say, Morocco forgot to play.
Yeah, I mean, it was a bit like, can I shoehorn Scotland in again?
Well, yes, they were.
Well, it was a bit like Morocco against Scotland. The game was relatively close, that game, and it shouldn't have been with Morocco's quality. And this, I was expecting more of what we saw in the second half for 90 minutes, but I've got to give a lot of credit to Canada.
Yep.
The first half, the way they played, particularly the first 20 minutes, they swarmed all over this Moroccan side. But as we heard on the commentary, to keep that up for 90 minutes is difficult, and then that little bit of quality came through. So yeah, from Canada's perspective, you know, a really, really good effort. I wouldn't be ashamed at losing 3-0 because Moroccans are a better side. But they put up a good fight, but in the end, not a surprise, and probably going to set up a Morocco-France game, barring a disaster. So yeah, no surprise. You couldn't give France that amount of possession,
right,
and get away with it. I don't think. Maybe if they had an off day, but you're thinking about Dembele and Doué, Mbappe, Michael Olise, and others coming from midfield. If you allow that amount of territory and possession, you know, you'd think they're going to do something a bit special in that final third. So I think Morocco are going to have to find a way to get a little bit further up the field, and that's taking a risk. But you're going to have to take risks to get through in this competition. You're not going to beat, if it is France, you're not going to beat them, I don't think, by just sitting in for 90 minutes and hoping to catch them on a counter.
We saw in a different level, in a different matter, we saw yesterday Cape Verde giving it and going forward against the world champion, and it almost worked. And sometimes you have, as you say, you have to take risks and try your best to surprise everybody.
And Morocco can, because we saw the first 25 minutes against Brazil. Although Brazil are not, I wouldn't say Brazil are as strong as France, of course they're not. But they couldn't get the ball off Morocco early on. So they have got it in them to take the game by the scruff of the neck. Whether they will or not, if it's France, that remains to be seen.
Again, you feel...
Yeah, it would be tight. It would be tight because they know each other. Players, most players, we can mention Hakimi. Bouhaddi played with the French national team on the youth teams.
Under 21s.
And even under 21s, but even before. And it's the first time that he plays for Morocco. So they know very well each other. So they will be it will be a big fight, a big game. Hopefully the best is gonna go through and win. But it's going to be a revenge maybe for Morocco against France, for sure.
Canada side, they're going to be deeply disappointed, especially with what we saw in the first half, JB. Yeah, of course, because they had some really good moments. Again, we spoke about them being able to control the game without the ball, really dictate where they wanted Morocco to go, and they weren't able to find answers to that. But what you need to do when you're having good spells and you're playing against a really good team who hadn't quite turned up yet is take those opportunities when they came. They had one or two in the first half, weren't able to do that. They weren't clinical enough, completely opposite to Morocco in the second half, and ultimately, you know, that was the difference.
Well, let's see how the floodgates opened, Bradley. That first goal coming from Inyahi.
It was a brilliant finish and a well-worked goal by Morocco. It seemed to me throughout the game they found a sweet spot on the top of that edge, on the edge of Canada's box. You know, you just see here, it's well-worked, and we can get into that after. I want to talk about the finish from Inyahi. A lot of players in this moment think they have to go for power and extra precision. If you look at the finish in general, it keeps it low. There's a lot of bodies, so it's going to be hard for Kripo to see. But here, Kaz, you mentioned the block.
Well, same goal scorer, JB.
Yeah, and again, we spoke about half-time. How are they going to get higher up the pitch? Who's going to be able to influence the game? We didn't see enough of Inyahi in that first half. He's been fantastic so far this tournament. But again, you look at this now, those positions they take up, ready to counter at pace. And this is where they're at their best. When you open up the pitch, give them those spaces in behind, but the quality, little cutback, sets it back for him. It isn't the easiest of finishes, but Inyahi tucks it away really, really nice.
He should have took the...
Well, we've seen them go to the semi, so I wouldn't write them off getting there again. I think it'll be a tall ask for them to go and win the World Cup. In football, anything's possible, but I just like the balance. There's defender there. You look at big centre-back Diop, they have that there. In the midfield, there's Bouhaddi. Then you have a solid striker, you have creative players. They got everything.
Yeah.
Best team at this tournament, and that's probably the one that you don't want to see when you get through this one, because they've got so many offensive weapons. But just in terms of how the game will play out, you expect obviously France to dominate the ball. Yes, they've got brilliant attackers, but in terms of a team who could hurt them on the counter, as we saw in that second half, absolutely it's set up nicely for Morocco to have a real good go at them.
Still your favourites, Kaz, France?
Yeah, I said it from the start. I'm not going to change, Laura. I think they're going to go on and win it. And I'm a bit gutted for Morocco, because I really think if it was anyone else, they'd have a real good go. But I think France are too good. I mean, Morocco, 6th ranked in the world by FIFA. You expected them to dominate the game, but credit to Canada and Jesse Marsh, who's put up a system to try and nullify everything Morocco have got, particularly in the wide area. So the game is open for them, and particularly with Morocco's main player going off injured, Saibari. Yeah. This is a big game now for them.